Joe De Sena here, CEO and founder of Spartan and the Spartan Up podcast. Man, do I have a good one for you today. I met him through a friend of mine in Texas, Gilbert Tuhabonye from Burundi?
Yes, Burundi.
Burundi, Africa. We talk a lot about resilience. We talk a lot about bouncing back, fighting through in life, never letting life get you down. Gilbert, this story is unbelievable. Like when you hear this story, you can't complain about anything anymore.
Welcome to the Spartan Up podcast, hosted by Joe De Sena, founder and CEO of Spartan Race, and brought to you by Wild Health.
We are talking about overcoming obstacles. The same way we teach people to get over obstacles on the course, we will teach you here on the Spartan Up podcast to get over obstacles in your mind.
Get fully personalized healthcare based on your DNA, biometrics, and blood work with Wild Health, the official healthcare provider of Spartan. Go to wildhealth.com and use the code Spartan10 to save 10%. This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by 511, the official plate carrier sponsor of the 2022 U.S. Spartan events. Visit 511tactical.com/Spartan.
Gilbert, take us back 1990s Africa. You were born. When were you born?
I was born November 22nd, 1974. Thank you, Joe, for having me on the show. This is a privilege and an honor to be on this incredible group, incredible people. And I was born and raised in Burundi, Africa. Burundi is a small country. It's the south of Rwanda, the west of Tanzania, and kind of east of the Republic of Congo. Growing up in Burundi, I didn't have what most Americans have. I was poor. I ran everywhere, ran to survive, ran to help my parents, ran to school. We didn't have water and electricity in the house. So everything I did, it was just, when I ran, it was to survive. Then, I was attending boarding school, 1993. We have two major tribes in Burundi, Hutu and Tutsis. The Hutu are majorities and Tutsis are a minority. And these two tribes been fighting for decades. And not like 1993.
Was everybody part of a tribe? Everybody in the country was part of one of the two tribes?
Yes. There's another tribe called Pygmies, which is Twa. It's a 1%. So when I was growing up, I didn't know what Hutu and Tutsi. We shared everything together. We lived together. But 1993, and I was a senior in high school, and the president was assassinated by the army. And in act of retaliation, the people that supported the president, majority Hutu, came to my school and locked everybody. We were stripped naked and locked everybody in the building and set the building on fire. So
they killed the president, and then how soon thereafter did they lock you all in the school?
He was killed probably in the night, and the next day we didn't even know. But the first thing they did was to cut the communication, the radio. The next thing in the morning, we were surrounded, and so in less than 24 hours, my school was attacked.
How many kids were in the school?
The school had, it was a mix of Hutu and Tutsis. So, but the kids that ended up in the building and the fire was 200, including myself. It's a long story, but for me, I was captured because they didn't want me to run away to go alert to the army. So they had a plan to capture me first so I could be locked up and I don't have to ask for help. So there were 200.
So 200, and these were all Tutsis. The Hutu they let out.
Correct. The Hutu student actually, after they started joining the mob, and headmaster was the one in charging, orchestrating, making sure that every kid or every teacher that is going to the fire was Tutsi.
So they lock you in the building, they strip you naked, and then what? They poured gasoline on the building?
Correct. So before you enter the building, they made sure they paralyzed the neck. They were paralyzed. They were hit the neck. And so by the time you get inside the building where you were paralyzed. And so what saved me was, well, when I was in high school, I was in the drumming team. I was a great athlete. So when they started locking us up, tying us together in the rope, I concentrate because they lock us. The way they rope us together was arms behind, and so when they started beating us before we entered the building, the rope came loose. So I jumped myself in the building, and then as soon as I get in the building, they were lit. They will use like gasoline, spray the gasoline inside, and then lit the building.
So the building's on fire and everybody's screaming, I would imagine.
They were screaming. Most of the people that were almost half dead because they were paralyzed. They were just, I would not say scream. It was a noise that I don't know how to explain and describe. It was just painful. And I watched my friends and my teammates dying one by one, and I was waiting for my turn. What saved me is the African building. It's not like the same as right here. It's a bricks and it's a concrete. Here it's a woods and it's easy to burn. The only thing that burned at that time was the loose. The loose was the only thing that was able to burn. Everything else stays intact. So I spent 8 hours, witnessed my friend dying one by one. And after that, I could not take it. After 8 hours, I took a dead body and I broke the window. But I was worried to get out because I thought if I get out, they would chop my head off. And I heard a voice, and the voice would tell me that I'll be all right. But I didn't know what the voice was. And before I got out, quite frankly, to get out I saw the dead body. They all look the same. You can't identify a person. I thought if I jumped outside, my parents, when they come to search and look for a piece of Gilbert, at least they'll be able to find a head, whatever, a piece of Gilbert. So that was the whole reason to jump outside. And I landed in the midst of them, and they didn't see me. Up to today, I call it a miracle. But I was burned. I was in a bad shape. I lost 30% of my body.
You were completely burned. And
yes.
Everybody else died?
Everybody in that building died. There were a couple, maybe 2 to 3, 5. After 2 days, they went to trying to salvage anything. They found this is like, they lost almost 70% of their body, kind of unconscious. They were able to help them, but I'm the only one who was able to jump from the building and ran away from the enemy, and I outran the enemies.
So the enemy sees you eventually, and they start chasing you?
They started chasing me. It was dark. They were drunk. They were tired. Just to give you an idea, I entered the building 6 p.m. on a Thursday. It was on a Thursday evening. But I did not get out of the house, the burning chamber, until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then where did you find safety?
It was a long way, hard journey to find a safe place. It was very hard to put one leg in front of the other. And what saved me was the darkness. I ran away towards area they thought it was dangerous for me. So they were saying that they would come kill me the next days. So they gave up. They were drunk. They were tired. That gave me a chance to go. I was trying to go break in the hospital, trying to find a medication. Because I look at my arms, when you lost 30%, it was a huge hole. My leg was the same, was a huge hole. So as I'm heading into the hospital to break in, find a medication, I ran into another group of what I call it. They were watching. They were surrounding the hospital. The soldiers were coming. They heard what happened. They were coming, and that's how I was able to get rescued. The soldier, they took me to an army hospital where I'll be receiving treatment before I can rejoin and reunite with my family.
It's amazing. And nobody else from your family died during that whole. How long did this massacre take place?
It was a civil war that took even a couple of years. But that time, I was in a boarding school. I was not near my home. I was 7 hours away from my home. So my parents didn't even know what happened to me. And so, but they heard the news that every student that at the Kibimba High School, one of my high school, that is dead. So they gave up and started thinking about a way to do a funeral ceremony. Until 7 days later, my brother came and found out that I was alive. I was able to find a phone, and eventually I called, and we reunited, and I went home and at the hospital nearby, close where I grew up. And when I was in the hospital, I was trying to heal emotionally and physically, trying to understand how the people that were my friends, they're trying to kill me because the president was dead. It was very hard to comprehend. It was very hard to understand. And but I was determined to get better and to heal myself. Being a runner, have a goal to come to the United States, I had to do everything I could to start running. And it took me 3 months in the hospital. After I got out of the hospital, I started doing the therapy. I started moving slowly. And after 1 year, I was back and I started training. I started running. And eventually I made it here to the United States. And when I ran for Abilene Christian University, it's a Christian college here in Texas, West Texas. And then after I graduated, I moved to Austin. And when I moved to Austin, that's how I met the friend, Paul Coroza, who gave me the job. I was helping runners, I was coaching runners. I was helping on the shoe floor, selling shoes, and I started running group, and that was the message to help runner become, live a healthy life and set goals, help them set goals. And I also started Gazelle Foundation, a charity that provided clean water to Burundi.
Your family stayed behind when you came to the United States?
Yes, the family stayed in Burundi. They stayed in Burundi right now. I'm in the United States with my two beautiful girls, Emma and Grace, and the wife, Trufine.
It's amazing. It's amazing because most of us, we quit when the going gets tough, but somehow you didn't quit. Somehow you got safe. Somehow you reunited with your family. You eventually, got to the United States, and somehow you have a wonderful life pushing, right? Most people can't do that. Most people can't continue when times are tough. What would you say the trick was?
What if you could get all the benefits of exercise without actually having to work out? I'm Dr. Matt Dawson with Wild Health, Spartan's official healthcare partner. I'm going to tell you how to do that today. So I'm not talking about a pill, but if this was a pill, it would be a multi-billion-dollar blockbuster pill because it can reduce stroke risk by over 60%, reduce heart attack risk, reduce dementia risk by 21%, and all-cause mortality by 40%. Pretty incredible benefits. And I'm talking about sauna, just getting hot, something you probably enjoy doing. We know that it works, and it works similar to exercise by releasing these heat shock proteins in your body, and exercise does the same thing. So it really is similar to exercise. How often should you do it? The studies that I mentioned earlier out of Finland with those reductions, they were looking at people doing sauna 4 to 5 times a week for about 20 minutes at a time. The temperature was in general kind of in the 170s Fahrenheit. If you get uncomfortable, then stop and get out. You can overdo it just like exercise. But if you're prudent, you start slow, you use it frequently, you're going to see some pretty incredible benefits. Some people, like pregnant folks, probably shouldn't do sauna. So I'm not telling you to stop exercising, but this can be additive as well. There are an incredible amount of benefits. Give it a shot, you'll enjoy it, and your body will be glad you did.
Wild Health, the official healthcare provider of Spartan. This episode is also sponsored by 511, the official plate carrier sponsor of the 2022 U.S. Spartan events. 511 is a global innovator in tactical and technical apparel, footwear, and purpose-built gear. You've seen our athletes wearing their vests. 511 is also hosting Spartan workout tour events at select 511 retail stores. These include 90-minute bodyweight training sessions, challenging the mind and the body, catering to all levels of fitness. Everyone is encouraged to join. And you could enter to win 511's TAC Tech plate carrier at select Spartan Honor Series, Stadium, and workout tour events. And last but not least, visit 511 at 15 different Spartan races throughout the year to take part in their 511 Fitness Challenge. Go up against Spartan racers, earn exclusive branded 511 Spartan dog tags, and you can get 20% off your next 511 purchase. Find out more at 511tactical.com/Spartan. 511, always be ready.
You have a wonderful life pushing, right? Most people can't do that. Most people can't continue when times are tough. What would you say the trick was?
The trick was what happened for me when I was in the hospital. It was a turning around point. I noticed that there were fake people. I noticed that people were hiding behind a religion to do bad things. The people that are trying to kill me, some of them were a Christian who had a Bible every Saturday. So I had to find a peace in my heart. I had to find a real way to move forward. And running helped me. Running is my therapy. Running is my freedom. It grounds me, connects me to people like you, connects me to my community. And when I started running, first thing I chose was to forgive my enemy, to move on. Because you cannot live a full life or happy life when your heart is full of anger and hate. You got to learn how to forgive. I forgave my enemy so I can move on. That was a huge deal for me. If I can let someone who's trying to take away my life go and live free, I can do anything. And the running also helped me to change the chemical in my head. Instead of thinking about revenge and thinking about killing people, I set my goal to be the best I can be. Be the best human, the best athlete, the best human I can be. Running is my priority. So I run every day so I can clear my head. That was, the forgiveness and the perseverance. You also have to have a discipline. I still run 7 miles a day just to stay sane, because it helps me to connect to the people, connect to my community, and also it helped me to run with joy.
Run with joy. So number one, the message to the world is you've got to forgive, because if you hate somebody, they won, basically, right?
Yeah.
You got to forgive. Number two, you got to do hard things, running, cold showers, exercise, whatever it may be, because that releases chemicals in your brain and probably makes you feel good. Even when, well, it doesn't probably make you feel good. It definitely makes you feel good. Even when, right? No matter what, there's no bad workout except the one you don't do. And then number three, you got to be disciplined about it. No matter how you feel, you got to do it every day.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't there. I can't even imagine. I thought I had some tough moments in my life, but they're all a joke compared to what you've been through. How do if people want to contribute to your effort? You have a charity?
Yes. So I have a Gazelle Foundation.com. It's a charity that provides clean water to the villages where I grew up. We're so fortunate here. People get up in the morning and there's a water a few feet away from your bedroom. And these villages where I grew up, average people have to go get clean water is 4 miles on a daily basis. That's a trip they do, and it's children and women. So with the charity that we're doing, we're trying to reduce the distance people have to travel to get water. And we're trying to help kids become kids, go to school, become better educated, become the better leaders for the future. We're trying to help clinics, the hospital, market, churches, people where meet, so they can have a clean water, they can have access to water. And it's been huge. Up to today, I can tell you, I'm so proud and happy to what the organization and my team is doing. We have given more than 100,000 people are getting clean water close to homes. It's a huge accomplishment.
That's amazing. And you and I are doing something together for Austin, in Austin, Texas. People can come out and run the Spartan Trail, and you'll receive a bunch of money for the charity. So if you're listening to this or you're watching this, let's get out there and do this for Gilbert. Do this to get some clean water, right? Let's reduce that distance from 4 miles. What do you hope to get it to? Are you going to bring water right to the village?
Yeah, we bring water to the village. So it's like what the people, let's say someone will go to fetch water 2 miles down. So we are trying to reduce that distance. It's a quarter mile to get a clean water close to homes. That's how much they have to travel. And so it's a life saving, it's a transformation of the villages and the transformation of the community. And again, Spartan, I cannot thank you enough for your help to help keep transforming a life. Go out there and run with joy and save a life.
Run with joy, save a life. So Gilbert, hopefully we could get a lot of people in Texas. Hopefully we can use that money and donate to your program. Thanks for coming on. Anybody listening, anybody watching, stop complaining. You don't have it that bad. Unless you were in a burning building and using a charred, dead body, God forbid, to break out the window, you can't complain about anything. And by the way, Gilbert's not complaining. So no one can complain about anything.
Thank you, Joe.
Do you know someone who needs a little help staying motivated, staying informed, getting or staying mentally and physically resilient? We're here 3 days every week with a mix of content to help you stay strong, from mindset to nutrition and everything in between. Listen every Tuesday to hear Joe De Sena, Spartan Race founder and CEO, and the rest of the week, join us for DECA, Endurance, and Classic episodes. See you next time. This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by 511, the official plate carrier sponsor of the 2022 U.S. Spartan events. Visit 511tactical.com/Spartan. Maximize energy, optimize nutrition, and improve performance with Wild Health. Personalized precision healthcare built for Spartans. You'll get a personalized health plan based on your DNA and biometrics and the support of a team of health experts. Sign up at wildhealth.com with the code SPARTAN10 to save 10%.